When I saw that I was about to lose my dad, I randomly opened the Bible. This is what I saw. Be anxious for nothing. Through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Then His peace, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. That's what we're going to do today, like Bart would have liked. Dear Bart, I'm doing this as an open letter to you, just so I can get through it without falling apart. I want to remind you, your family, and the rest of the world about the grace and power of the greatest winner and the finest teammate I have ever known. Cherry, what you allowed me to share over the last few years is the very definition of unconditional love in a marriage. All 65 years of your blessed union came to fruition in the constant, and I do mean constant, care that you gave to Bart. At times when he least desired it, and at times when it had to be excruciating for you to administer it. God bless you. I have never seen anything like it in my life. Pray that if I'm called upon to serve, that I will have half of the loving kindness that I saw you display. Bart, you began as I walked to my first dinner with the Green Bay Packers in 1965, exhausted, beat up, with a concussion from the night before in the college all-star game that we had played just 22 hours prior to this walk across the St. Norbert College. I sensed the presence by my side. Startled, I looked over, and there was Bart Starr, the Bart Starr. Walking with me. Mr. Starr, I stuttered. He said, oh, forget that Mr. stuff. I'm just Bart. First words out of your mouth, Bart. Bill, I don't know what your faith is, but we've got a great minister at our Methodist church. I'd like to invite you to go to services with us tomorrow and come have Sunday dinner at our house. Truth be known, I would have rather slept. It was a command performance, I think. After that, I knew I had met a great man with a beautiful wife and family. What I did not know is that I had just been adopted by a big brother, one that would never leave my side and never will. We hadn't even gone over the snap count. Now I wish I could see you one more time. I really do. Just to feel your strength, your friendship, and that unconditional love, so that I could express my undying gratitude for a few things that I wish I had said to you. Like the time early in my rookie year you discovered that my young wife Carolyn was about to stay in a very old hotel in downtown Green Bay. You came to me at practice and asked me if that were true. When I said yes, you said she will not stay there one night. She will stay with us. When I protested, you said, shut your mouth, don't say another word. Call Carolyn, tell her to be outside at 10 a.m. Cherry will pick her up and she will stay at our house. I was a rookie. Cherry and the boys cared for Carolyn several days. Where does that come from? Like the time I was judgmental. Imagine a southern, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant male being judgmental. Imagine that, if you can. My college coach had been the Southern gentleman, Bobby Dodd. Coach Lombardi was not Southern. I didn't understand his language. I didn't understand his priorities, your religion, your family, and the Green Bay Packers in that order. And guess what? When we got on the practice field, he tended to get confused about the order of the priorities. I criticized him, saying he couldn't possibly be a Christian. You defended him, Bart. You looked me right in the eye and said, Bill, this guy goes to Mass every single morning. He's a Catholic. Now, he's not perfect. I know that. But he's very devout. And you have no business judging him or anybody else. Of course, Bill, you're going to realize when you've been working for this man about 3 weeks, he needs to go to church every day. I was insecure, fearful of people that were different from my experience, Catholics, Yankees, people of color. You would not allow it, calling me out, at times in front of the team when necessary. It was painful, but it taught lessons I would never have learned any other way. It set me up for experiences with great human beings like Willie Davis and Vince Lombardi, with whom I had transforming life experiences. Coach Lombardi on his deathbed, where he powerfully forgave me when I least deserved it. Like the times in training camp you stood outside the bus while the rest of us moaned and complained. You glared at us, signed every single kid's little piece of paper, and you got on, winked at us, and took your seat. Like the time I broke your middle finger during warm-ups my rookie year with a bad snap. You started the game, threw a touchdown pass on the very first play, and the only play you played. Imagine my relief as the rookie center. And then you ran off the field right in front of God, Vince Lombardi, the team, and the Lambeau fans. You shouted in that inimitable voice of yours while shaking your right hand, "I can't go. Coach, get Zeke ready." It was the worst moment of my football career. Naturally, Zeke Bratkowski won the game. He always did. You played the next week, threw 3 touchdowns. We won the championship, and you refused to this day to even discuss it. The only thing you would say to me is, "I don't think it was broken." It's the only time you ever lied to me, Bart. Like the times that my man would earhole you, Cherry wanted to kill me, I know that. Knock you almost unconscious, and I'd lift you off the pile. You were really light when you were limp. Praying that you would chew my butt out, but instead having you pat me on the back and said, "Bill, get back in the huddle." What manner of man is this? There are no words, but we have to try. Like the times you came through Atlanta after I was gone from the Packers, took us to dinner, and promised that if you ever got a big job, that you were going to hire me. Other people made similar promises, but you're a man of your word. And you hired me back to come to Green Bay, not once, but twice. I would never have been the head coach at Georgia Tech or anywhere else were it not for Bart's confidence, his integrity, and his incredible courage to hire me against all the odds. Like the time you taught Zeke and me how to live our lives with one simple act. The 3 of us sat in your living room, your home, on a rainy afternoon working on our offense. Cherry answered a knock at the front door, and we heard a timid voice, "Mrs. Starr, I'm truly embarrassed to do this. My dad doesn't have long to live, and he worships Coach Starr. Do you think you could get Coach just to sign this little paper?" By then, Bart had joined Cherry at the door, and he asked the guy, "Where's your dad?" He said, No, please don't ask me that. Could you just, he said, "Where's your father?" I'm not making this up. He said, "Well, he's out in the car." Bart said, "Go get him." The young man brought the old man in the door, both of them in tears, as Bart walked and took them and escorted them through the Starr home, showing them all the championship trophies and the rings and the pictures and the wonderful things that made our career so rich. The old man composed himself, got himself together, said, "Mr. Starr, my life is complete. God bless you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart." Bart walked back over to Zeke and me and said, "Okay, where were we?" Bart and Cherry, on the occasion of your greatest tragedy with little Brett, I asked what you intended to do. You answered that you would gather yourselves till you recovered and then set out to try to save other young people. You remember what you did? A few months later, sure enough, I got a phone call, and Bart said, "We're ready." So I was the coach at Alabama at the time, so we called a team meeting, It was like nothing I've ever seen before, because not only did Bart talk to the team, Cherry talked to the team. Lives were changed. Lives were saved. I promise you. They encouraged the young men to be the right kind of human beings, the way Bart Starr had always conducted his life. And I guarantee you, lives were saved that day. Then they said this: if you ever need us, if you don't have the resources on campus to deal with an issue that you can't handle, you call us. We're in the Birmingham phone book. I looked it up, and there you were. Bart Jr., your constant Father's Day letters to your dad were of such significance to him that he beamed as he read a few lines to me. I wanted more, but he said, "No, most of it's private." Finally, Bart Starr, the fact of your being one of the toughest men to ever play in our league, of your being the most dominant playoff performer of all time at your position, and your indomitable will to win no matter what would be enough for us to praise you to the heavens. But combine championship performance with a level of compassion and humility that literally strikes us dumb. Do that, and we're left with no choice but to go from this place better men and women, more assured by your inspiration, more committed to a new and enlightened way, your way of tough love and compassion every step. God bless you, my brother and teammate. Go with God.
I think